This is the Harbor Freight 12 volt heater slash fan with light, basically meant for a vehicle. Most people buy this with the wrong intention. They think they're going to heat their entire car with this instead of actually putting the heat on in the car. And as you can tell, a little thing like that just ain't going to cut it. What this is good for is if you put it basically up against, on your dashboard against the windshield, it will clear a small area, not a large area. If you wanted to do that, you can kind of angle it sort of like that to kind of help it blow on there. This particular thing also has this thing that pulls out here, like a handle, or I'm not really sure, but anyway, that's there. And it comes with a mount, a stand and mount, and double stick tape and screws and all kinds of good stuff like that. And it has 2 white LEDs in it, its own button for that. On the side, it has a switch for middle is off, fan up top, heat down below, and there is a fuse in there of 15 amp. Now, most cars are not going to support this directly, so you do want to be careful about plugging this directly into your vehicle, because you can certainly blow the cigarette lighter fuse, and then you'll have a bigger problem on your hands. So you do want to be very careful about using this thing. Most of the reviews on Harbor Freight's website says that this thing totally sucks, don't buy it, complete waste of money, doesn't heat up, couldn't heat up a glove box, blah blah blah. Terrible product, don't even bother with it. But I found it actually is pretty decent for what it is if you know the purpose you're buying it for. Many years ago, I had an old car that did not have a rear window defroster at all. And what I had was a fan very similar to what's in here, which is very hard to tell with the lighting I have here, I'm sorry, but basically it was just a fan, no heat at all. And that would just blow on the window. And yes, it would generally take about halfway into my trip to clear some sort of path on the window, but it would do it with just a fan. So with heat, it should certainly help that considerably on top of that. So we're going to go ahead and fire this up. Obviously, I don't have a car on the washing machine, so I don't have a cigarette lighter plug, but I do have a power pack that I just reviewed in the previous video. And although I could plug it in over here, like I said, I believe that's only 10 amps, so I'm actually going to use the battery clamp. So let me go ahead and hook that up, and I'll show you how it works. With that hooked up, you can see the green status LED is on right there. Now, something else to consider if you do actually hook it up with battery clamps or cables like this, is that only one side of the tab on the side there is actually connected. The other one is just a metal tab, and it's not connected to anything, so it'll only work on this side, as you see here. We'll start with just the light. Like I said, it's basically 2 LEDs. It's just there as a gimmick, basically, but it is there, and that also will provide some light, as you can tell, right there, like that. So anyway, that's pretty much that. We'll turn this over to fan, which is in this position here. And you can hear the fan run. And you do certainly hear the airflow in the microphone. I have the fan running. This is an anemometer, which measures airflow. This is in feet per minute. And it's pulling about 500 to 600 right there on the intake, and the output on it is putting out about 860 some odd over there. Now this does have a temperature sensor, but I don't know how much I trust it. It's that little thing right in there. It says 71.9 degrees, but what we'll do is we'll take my infrared and try that out and see what that says. Well, this is what I'm going to use, so we'll go with that. So about 73, 74 degrees, some crap like that. So okay, that's on with the fan running only. And now we'll put it over to heat. Take a little time to get warm because it is a ceramic element, which I do like because that's certainly a lot safer. And you can tell we're up to 120, 130 degrees now. And that'll probably climb. I'll just give it a couple of minutes or so to chooch, and I'll show you what the final temperature is. So it certainly climbs to over 150 degrees. In fact, it's getting so hot I really don't want to hold my hand there. The anemometer, when that's placed in front of it with the heater on. We'll put it right in front of the thing there. That's what that reads there. And again, like I said, the temperature sensor, I don't know how accurate that really is. Went to 97 degrees, where the other thing was over 150, but there is certainly a difference between a little bulb thermistor like that and an infrared. But all in all, personally, I think people are buying this for the wrong purpose. They're buying this to try to heat, you know, their entire vehicle, when that's what the heat in the car is for. Or in case the heat in the car is broken, they think this little thing is going to do it. It's not, and that's why there's so many different bad reviews on it. But even at this kind of distance right here, it's moving a decent amount of air. Not a tremendous amount, but it is certainly moving some air. And I think for 10 bucks that you can usually find it with a coupon, it's a nice toy to have. I certainly wouldn't use it, and certainly wouldn't plug it into the cigarette lighter unless you know for a fact that that can handle 15 amps. But then again, even if it does, for how long? Although it does have an inline fuse in it, I'd question the quality of that. And just in case anybody is interested here, I've been running that for 2 or 3 minutes now, and the charge on this does go down considerably. As you can tell from the previous video, it was over 100%, almost to the C in charging, and now it's only at 100. And with the heat on itself, you can see it reads considerably lower than that once that settles down. There you go. So you see it does certainly place a considerable draw on it, and that means that I'm going to have to recharge this thing once again. But just so you see the difference here, what I'll do is I'll shut it off just to give you an indication, because I only have one spare hand. You can see the light dim in it. When I turn it on and off, or fan to heat. But anyway, that's there, and it will blip that as well when you put the heat on. So it does work. It does what it's supposed to do. And for 10 bucks, I just thought it's cool to have a little ceramic element that runs on 12 volts.